Well, I'm assessing this part of the front landscape right now. I think I am starting to move through those stages of grief, I guess. I'm getting a little bit over the shock of it, and while I'm still very sad, I'm also in the process of being able to formulate a plan moving forward. So I think that's good. First of all, let me describe a little bit of what has been destroyed here. So, Stuart, if you could just show, look at how massive that limb was off of my 100-year-old oak tree. And that's just one massive limb. The remains of it is all still out here on the street. You guys are probably getting tired of me showing you that, but it's because it's still here. I'm waiting for it to magically disappear. This area took more of a hit than any other area of the garden. And I'm trying to think about what I need to do. So first of all, I'm reframing how I used to think about this section and how I'm thinking about it now. So, Stuart, I'm going to ask you to do something, if you would. Could you back up and give us more of a long view into the yard? And you can see that there is now this low expanse of flower bed. This used to be all very solid and very high, up to about here, as much as maybe 5 to 6 feet high. Now I have more of a classic kind of prairie look where this is going to continue the lower growing vibe that was in front, and that aesthetic will continue into this area underneath the oak tree. So this is the space I'm thinking of reformulating. Now, I don't want to be premature in taking anything out. I want to kind of watch and see what it does. For example, this large mass of crushed hellebores right here is going to be just fine. It will come back, and it will come back beautifully. I'm not sure about this crushed boxwood. I might be able to prune it some. A lot of these branches that are hanging low are still attached, so I might wait, remove any of the dead wood, and then come back here in the spring and give it a tight prune, so I can maybe salvage that. These azaleas, the one bit of optimism it gives me is that these azaleas, some of them, the traditional azaleas, have been here for so long. So here's a traditional, albeit crushed, azalea. And then I've got some encore azaleas in here. There's another large crushed azalea over there. The traditional azaleas have been here for a long time. So even though azaleas have a relatively shallow root system, I'm hoping that their root system is substantial enough so that these might come back out again. Now, they probably won't bloom next year, but in the spring I can, or even now, I can prune them into a little bit better shape so they will at least flush out in foliage next spring and then hopefully bloom the year after that with some judicious feeding and, again, judicious pruning. Now, one of my real big heartaches was I had planted a whole swath swath of white azaleas in here to replace some azaleas that had been lost in the last storm we had. These are, I'll put the varieties below with links to them, but these were all encore azaleas. There was autumn moonlight, autumn lily, I believe, and there was just this whole patch. They were getting ready to bloom. Look, you can see just a few pitiful ones that held on. So probably what I'm going to do is supplement this entire area with some more encore azaleas to fill out and maybe ensure that I have some kind of bloom next spring. So as I get ready to plant that, I'll let you know, and I'll let you know what varieties I can find at this time of year and what I hope to incorporate. I may do it now, I may do it in the spring. It's a beautiful, almost warm to hot day today, and it's still very dry. So I'm going to make sure that even if I have to irrigate it, I'm going to really moisten this ground really, really well. Now, underneath the canopy of this huge oak, and I want to do something so that you guys can get a scale. This is how big this oak tree is. So you can see the diameter of that compared to me. Underneath the canopy of this oak tree, I had been growing 3 really tall, what are those, maybe 25 feet, would you say? 25, 30 feet, Foster hollies. They were absolutely beautiful. There was a trio of them that I planted many years ago. They started out about 4 feet tall. They matured to this height, and they were crushed. So I think since they're so mature and have a good substantial root system, these will come back. So what I'm doing is, and I've already done some of this work, you can see that I've pruned off some of the lower branches that were damaged and that were uneven. And I'm making them into tall trees, more of a tree form than a Christmas tree form, where they're cylindrical all the way down, or conical rather, all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to turn them into more of a, almost a topiary form. These will probably recover pretty nicely despite how they appear right now. Hollies can really take hard pruning, and I think these will recover. I asked Stuart what he thought. I'm not sure I'm going to do this, but as I was looking through this vista here, and you can kind of see the blue spruce and more trees in the borrowed landscape beyond. I was looking at these and these bare trunks, and I thought, oh, that reminded me of my beloved Colorado just a little bit. The aspen trees that have their tall, slender trunks, and then some woodland rubbish that's at the base of them. So I might either make something out of this huge trunk, or it's very massive. I can't just easily pick it up and escort it and send it on its way. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with it. So that right now is my thinking about that. And then there's still just so much cleanup to do. I'm just trying not to be too impatient with it all. And that's another thing. Let me kind of end on this note. Even someone like me who works in the industry, who has lots of contacts with landscapers, with tree people, with arborists, even I am on a waiting list, and I am not going to be too demanding of these people. I know they are just horrendously busy right now. Their list is a mile long, not only with their traditional customers, their standard customer list, but also with new people who are approaching them to help with their tree damage. So to the extent possible, I'm really trying to just be patient. It's not beautiful anymore. Everybody knows what has happened here, so I am just going to try to calm my anxiety and just start planning for what I want to do next. I've already gotten my order of bulbs in, so I'm thinking about the extra real estate I have here now to plant bulbs that I didn't have in the past. I can maybe plant more pansies. I can maybe plant more cabbages and things like that I like to grow in the spring. So I am rethinking this. And then next spring when it comes out, it will also tell me what to do next. So I'm really excited about that. Amidst devastation like the phoenix, we will rise again. So hopefully I'll be able to create something beautiful. And in the meantime, I am just, as I used to tell my boys, after a bad ball game or something, I would just say, suck it up, cowboy. And so, as my sister would tell me, I'm going to put my big girl panties on, and I'm just going to work with what I've got. It could be a lot worse, and I just need to have faith in Mother Nature and myself that I can make it beautiful again.